Hey YouTube, we are back with yet another video on the Ford Ranger build. Now this is probably going to be the last update video I do before this thing's running and driving. It's very close now, as you'll see when we get into it. So since last update video, I've been playing around with wiring up the Holley Sniper. One of the things I've done so far on it is install this coolant temperature sensor. It's right down there. That is, of course, in the intake coolant passage. That was a very easy install because I actually already had a sensor in that location before the Sniper, but the Sniper actually called for their sensor to be in a continuous flow of coolant, like in a channel or a passage, not a thermostat housing. They specifically said don't put it in there. So I listened and we put that in there, and then I put the old one in the housing. So we'll have two ways to know the temperature now. And then I also did the thermostat housing gasket for the 5th time. It took me 5 times to actually get that. So this time it actually is finally leak free, which was just, very good feeling to finally get that done. Next thing that we were doing was installing the O2 sensor on the actual exhaust. This is the O2 sensor right here. Look down there, you can see that I have this clamp-on style O2 bung. I just need to screw the sensor in. I haven't done that yet. But the only problem I had with that was, I was 1 degree off with where I drilled the hole. The sensor was actually contacting the floor, so you can see I actually had to cut out the floor on that side to fix that mistake. So, cut once, measure twice. We learned that. Another hard lesson, but it's not a big deal. This giant hole right here that I will be fixing with a plate, and while I'm at it, I'll make something up for that side as well. Not a huge deal. I'm just glad that is ready to go. Also started on this ignition panel. This is actually made out of the old center console type radio thing right here. Got the ignition right here, ignition, start, and then this is a holder for the Holley Sniper computer. Got a few switches here. One will be for the turn signals, the other one will be for the electric fan. But yeah, we got everything all wired up permanently, and it actually does work. It turns over the starter, and we have spark, so that's a good thing for sure. Still have a little bit to do here in the interior. I'm gonna be putting the gauge cluster back together here, but that's not my priority right now. We don't need that to drive the truck. Right now I'm just trying to get it ready to drive and work out any more kinks before I start trying to make it, nice. So that is that, I guess. The other thing I did was I did the brakes. I remember in the last one I was about to bleed the brakes, and I've bled them and done everything. I also added a proportioning valve, right? That's the proportioning valve right there because this is a drum or disc to drum setup, so you kind of need one so you don't lock up the rear before the front. So yeah, I actually had to get new hoses from my last ones because I actually bled them initially, and the pedals still felt soft, and when I actually want to go spin the hubs after I pressed the brakes, they wouldn't spin, so they weren't disengaging. The classic sign of bad hoses, so I actually replaced them, and they're fine now. These hoses, if you're actually building a Ranger, a lifted Ranger, are from a mid-80s Chevy K2500. This hose was $20, and so was the other one. I mean, for a lifted truck brake hose, that is real good, and they work perfectly with this setup. So that's a nice thing. I'm gonna cut off this bracket for sure though, and probably hose clamp it to the spring. But other than that, it works real good. Last thing I did since last update 2 was I actually installed this torque strap. You know, I actually did get a comment from someone on here. I believe his name was Mark Anthony, if I remember correctly. So if you're watching, I did actually do this. It's installed to the back of the cylinder head and you know, grade 8 bolts through the frame. And that took like 5 hours to do. It was very difficult to get a drill into the second bolt here. As you can see, there's like no space for it. But we got it done, and I'm glad we did, because that'll probably make the motor mounts hold up, I guess. Did take this fender well out to get to it, but other than that, that's pretty much it. This truck is almost ready to drive. We got brakes, we got clutch pedal, we got almost everything now. I just need to wire the fuel pump and run the fuel lines, and then wire the Sniper to the battery, and we're good to go. So look out in probably a week, I'd say, and we'll have this thing ready to go. So thank you all for watching, and peace out.